The world is an unpleasant and desolate place, a minimum of if that's what you specialize in. Here's the truth. You're gonna get what you specialize in. And if you decide on to determine what's wrong, if you decide on to determine what's broken, if you decide on to determine all of the items that are bad, then their visiting be exaggerated. You're gonna see them everywhere. If you decide on to determine the ugly during this world, you'll literally be buried in it. But if you decide on to determine beautiful, if you decide on to determine potential, if you decide on to determine the items that are right, then all of the sudden you're gonna be surrounded by that. And this can be one among those things that regardless of what quantity I say it, people don't really understand the ability of focus. If you set its flow and energy into what you opt to determine, the globe will change. There's literally a locality of your brain that determines whether what you're staring at is sweet or bad, positive or negative, but you will be able to take charge of that. Nothing must happen unintentionally. You will be able to literally shape the globe before your eyes. Consider this. The brain is encased in blackness. Light never touches your brain. The movements of the air that we predict of a sound never actually reach your brain. Everything hits your eye, your ear, and they're translated into electrical and chemical signals. And from that you simply construct a reality. But the reality is you're living within the matrix right away. Whether or not this can be not a model and we're really here, your brain remains creating a reality. It's determining what you see. Now the question is, what quantity of that are you visiting let happen unintentionally, and the way much are you visiting take control? And once you opt to require control and begin constructing optimism, positivity, all of a sudden, your visiting have more energy to attack things, because you suspect that their visiting happen for you, and belief is ultimately the foremost powerful thing that you simply can have. If you suspect that it's slow and a focus goes to be rewarded, if your efforts are visiting lead to improvement, then all of a sudden you don't must worry about whether you're good. You simply must worry about what quantity, time and energy you're willing to place into something. And once that's the equation, once you're the eternal learner, once your identity and your self-esteem is entirely bound up in getting good, in becoming great, then you'll make progress, because you're not tripping over self-loathing. You're not tripping over hating who you're or what you're capable of. You're not worried about what you were or weren't born with. Once you get out of that trap, and you begin brooding about your potential, and you begin brooding about what you'll be able to become, that's when the globe unveils to you. But it all comes right down to what you specialize in. So you need to be very careful about what you permit yourself to determine. And yes, it's a choice. And also the question you've got to ask right away is, what choice are you making? What things are you deciding to see? What is your world created of? Once you're taking control of that process, then potential becomes limitless. But first, you've got to grasp that it all begins with focus.